So I've ranked and analyzed 8 of my top 10 favorite freelancers. Now we're down to the final 2. And as I said before, these 2 were set in stone from the beginning. The reason is that, unlike the other 8, these 2 have a journey. The previous 8 all had their unique characteristics and traits, but none of them really underwent a journey or significant character arc. Their story was either cut short because the character died, or their story wasn't given enough focus to begin with. Fortunately, my top 2 choices were able to have their arcs told that we, as the audience, got to see and experience. So, in regards to my number 2, their journey still feels fairly recent to me, considering how late they were introduced in the series. During their first appearance, I wasn't really gung-ho about them. I was here for, the old freelancers introduced, like Maine and South and North and York. I was actually confused as to why this freelancer was getting so much focus. As their story progressed, I began to genuinely dislike them, and I can only say that for a handful of characters in this show. Initially, I saw them as noble, a little cocky, and a bit of a show-off. But as the series moved forward, I eventually stopped rooting for this character. I found them abrasive, selfish, and majorly hypocritical. Typical freelancer behavior up to 11. Fortunately, though, after the character underwent some self-reflection and came to terms with their past, aka went through their journey, I was surprised at how much I related to them and was empathetic towards their struggle. From then on, they continue to be one of the most relatable characters I've ever seen. So enough with the cryptic language. My second favorite freelancer is Carolina. For a character who was only mentioned in seasons 5 and 6, Carolina's story is probably given the most focus out of any other character in the series, with the exception of Church and Tex. Despite the fact that she had a pretty late debut, we learn about her parentage, her personality, her relationships, and her inner struggles all in just 2 seasons. She was more or less like Tex, albeit with a better attitude. The popular girl of the freelancers. She had everything a girl could want. A rich daddy, a great body, confident boyfriend, lots of friends, headstrong, athletic, intelligent, and red hair. Yet, everything eventually came crumbling down because of one person. Her. After Tex arrived, Carolina became extremely jealous of her impressive skill, even though she was a rookie. As Tex progressed in the ranks, Carolina's jealousy manifested into suspicion and eventually hatred. However, Tex rarely ever did anything to provoke Carolina, at least not intentionally. It was actually Carolina doing the provoking. At first, you think she's just being a jealous bitch, allowing her emotions to get the better of her. But you eventually learn that she simply wanted to retain her father's love, who at the time was giving all his attention to, in Carolina's eyes, some nobody. Although Carolina was eventually surpassed by Tex on the leaderboard, her friends didn't abandon her or lose their respect for her. She was still team leader and was also considered one of the project's best agents, even to Tex. Unfortunately, Carolina grew more distant from her friends, spending more time alone and centering her thoughts on Tex. During missions, Carolina became more demanding and selfish, often giving her teammates orders that benefited her and her alone.
You mean besides the one I'm going to drop on Wyoming if he doesn't move the hell up?
Yes, I can see everything just fine from back here, thank you.
So why was she like this? Why was she so angry? Why did she abandon everything she cared about? She was afraid. Afraid of losing her father's love. Afraid of being replaced by Tex. Carolina was willing to lose everything to gain back his love and respect. And by beating Tex, she thought she could achieve this. Of course, she was wrong, but the fact that someone else, some nobody, some rookie, was getting the admiration she was still working to earn left her angry and obsessed. Obsessed to gain that validation. Obsessed to be good enough. I understood Carolina a lot better after that, and it's one of the reasons I love her so much as a character. Once you understand her story, she becomes one of the most compelling characters in the entire series. In just 2 seasons, we see Carolina's rise and fall, and each consecutive season is her trying to pick herself back up. This is one of my favorite aspects of Carolina's character. We actually get to see her journey in becoming a better person, dealing with her mistakes, facing her fears, confronting her demons, and taking responsibility for her actions. I appreciate the fact that she doesn't completely make a full 180. Some of the old Carolina is still in her, but she uses those traits to help the people she cares about. She's no longer a badass because it's part of her job. She's a badass because she needs to protect her family. We've all done things in our past that we're ashamed of and would prefer to avoid repeating. But sometimes, the characteristics gained from those experiences can be useful to you in the future, depending on how you use them. One of the biggest themes associated with Carolina is her struggle confronting the consequences of her past, and never really healing from the scars. Sometimes she succeeds, and sometimes she fails. Regardless, those scars will always be there, popping in every now and then. I like the fact that every time Carolina confronts these scars, it's presented maturely. Take York, for example. York is dead. That scene in season 10 was the last time Carolina saw York face to face. She'll never be able to talk to him again. She will never be able to apologize or even see his corpse. All she has is her memories, and her last one of him was this. Carolina has to live with that for the rest of her life, just like we have to in the real world. We lose people and we have regrets, but that's what makes us grow. We see that growth throughout the course of Carolina's story. It's sad, but fucking life is sad most of the time. But usually, a feeling of acceptance follows afterward. It's unfortunate that nearly all of the other freelancers never truly escaped the psychological damage they obtained from the project. Whether they jumped ship or not, each of the most well-known agents never fully recovered from the effects Project Freelancer left on them. They all died by some aspect of the project, usually an agent, and never got to make up for their mistakes. York was killed by Wyoming, never to see Carolina again. Wyoming was killed by Tex and couldn't complete his fucked up plan. Tex was captured by the Meta and later EMP'd. South was killed by Wash and her body violently incinerated. North was killed by the Meta due to a betrayal by his own sister. Maine completely lost his humanity even after Sigma was gone and was killed by the Reds and Blues. And CT was killed by Tex, but at least she went out making a difference. Carolina managed to survive, but was forced to live with the burden and consequences of never seeing her friends again. She had to find another purpose in life. This is shown in seasons following the Project Freelancer saga. We see Carolina still holding huge amounts of fear, anger, and regret. On top of this, she struggles to slow down and relax. Being the best freelancer, she's always in soldier mode. However, this time, instead of completing a mission, she has a family to protect. Her story gives us a glimpse of Project Freelancer's effects on one of its surviving members. I'm glad we get to see that play out. Carolina is a true hero, and most of her actions have meaning behind them. Personal meaning. She's not a hero because she's a protagonist and super badass. No. What makes her a hero is her failures. Carolina is a failure. She failed to be the best freelancer, she failed to be there for her friends, she failed to gain her father's love, and she even failed to gain the camaraderie of the Reds and Blues at first. She fucking failed a lot. What the hell is more relatable in a character than that? When you think about it though, it makes sense. Carolina is a master at what she does. And as the old saying goes, the master has failed more times than the beginner has even tried. What makes Carolina a master is her courage to keep trying. What makes her a hero is learning from those failures and utilizing those skills for the right reasons. She's a hero because she finds a way to keep moving forward and saves people because she cares about them. The fact that we see all of her ups and downs, from loving her to hating her, is what makes her one of my all-time favorite characters. She may not have earned her father's love, but she did earn her happy ending.
I found something stronger than strength, more satisfying than solitude and obsession. I found people worth being strong for. And right now, any one of them could pop you with a finger twitch.
Say the word.
So that's my number 2 pick. What do you guys think about Agent Carolina? Did you like her at first, or did you hate her at first? How do you feel about her now? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. 9 down and 1 to go. We're on number 1, folks. It's been a long journey, a long procrastinational journey. Thank you guys for sticking around. I'm pretty sure you guys probably know who my number 1 is, but if you don't, take a guess in the comments below as well. If you like my content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you want some behind the scenes material, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All that good shit. As always, thank you guys for watching, and have a good one.